This is Calendula. This is Calendula officinalis. Now, I picked these early this morning, so some are not in the complete open stage, but I'm just going to pull one out so you can see it closely. This is Calendula. Hello. Now, I would like to spend a few minutes to talk about this. First of all, it is the name of this festival, which has to do with the fact that Calendula really thrives in this region. Now, we would like to encourage you to get to know the herbs in your area and build a relationship with them. So if you see something like this, now these are all in a vase, and honestly, I probably will use some of them for remedies later, for calendula oil and calendula tincture. Ideally, you want to pick those when the dew has evaporated, and I would just like you to take a moment. Just imagine you're out in nature, and you happen to come upon a patch of calendula. And what I'd like you to just imagine, you see like many of these flowers in various opening stages. Calendula is very, very prolific. Calendula wants to share its goodness. That would then be in the form of seeds. And I can show you here, the seeds, they form very easily and very rapidly, and then they build up down here. Calendula. Imagine you're out in the field and you're coming, or in your garden or your friend's garden or anywhere, you come upon calendula and you would like to get into a relationship, communicate with this plant. So what you want to do first, you want to observe how the plant grows in that particular environment. That's what I meant when I say, watch how the plant expresses itself. Watch how the plant connects with everything that is around it and what grows around it as well. Secondly, you actually want to see what happens with you when you look at this plant. How are the impressions you're getting? Color, texture, fragrance. Now, calendula does have a very delicate fragrance, but what it has more distinguishingly is actually a certain resin that you can feel when you touch it. It is somewhat on the leaves too, but particular in the flowers. And that is also part of the medicinal properties. So you want to get to know the plant, and you want to find out how you feel when you connect with the plant. Do you want to get to know it better? Is that someone that could be your ally? Is that someone that has a message for you? Is that a plant you want to get to know? And if you do, you're not alone, because calendula actually has been growing pretty much all over the world in a temperate climate, and it has been used for centuries for medicinal purposes, for really the heart and the body and the spirit. Now, in Germany, it's called Ringelblume, and in the old English herbal booklets, it also was called Mary's Gold, which now you easily can translate into marigold. And it is called Calendula officinalis, but it also is part of the marigold family. Calendula blossoms are even today used for decoration of a sacred nature, if you will. They used to create garlands and head garlands, which actually is a ring, therefore Ringelblume. They used to make garlands just out of the blossoms. And you probably know, or actually would be nice for you to find out how. It's very simple to make a garland out of flowers. They used to ornate, I think the word is ornate, decorate statues of Holy Mary with these. And if you look into the many, many holidays, the sacred religious holidays that are celebrated in India, you will come upon pictures of, I mean, I would say yards and yards of garlands that are made out of this flower. And yes, the nature of a flower is there is a growing and opening, and it is impermanent, and then the flower goes to seed. So especially with these flowers, the opening happens rather fast, and the going to seed happens rather fast too. So you would notice if you had those in your garden that pretty much every day or every other day, you will be seeing these going to seed. And then of course, you can collect the seeds as well. And actually, I have a lot of seeds which are available for free for anyone who wants them through the guild. However, now, before they go to seed, look at this abundance. Calendula is offering herself to you for healing. And there was a very famous English herbalist in the Middle Ages. His name was Nicholas Culpeper. And he had a saying, I didn't find the quote anymore, but it is something like, calendula does good for the heart. Now, I think this is more than appropriate to talk about calendula today, because I myself feel like calendula does good for the heart. When I go out and see how calendula opens her little faces and connects with the sunshine from above, it actually opens my heart. And you may just go out somewhere in nature and see which plants are opening your heart when you communicate with them or just observe what they do. So that would be one thing. However, there is so much more to it. Calendula is so freely giving her goodness that it is actually safe to eat. Now, I'm not saying just go in the garden and chomp down the flowers, but when you have an abundance of calendula, you can use the petals to add to food. And they're actually beautiful in salads. Now, you also can use the entire flower head for medicinal use. There's a difference. The petals have their place. However, there is more medicinal properties in the whole head, but it doesn't taste that great. The petals taste wonderfully. So what you want to do, bring calendula in your life. If you have never had anything to do with herbs, this might be a wonderful start, because calendula loves to grow around here in Mendocino County, and it wants to share its goodness with you. Now, it is anti-inflammatory. It's anti-inflammatory, it's antibacterial, it's antiviral, it's antifungal, it's carminative. That means it's really, really good for the tummy. And especially calendula tincture is a wonderful digestive help. Seriously. Calendula oil, also made with the flower heads, is a wonderful, soothing topical oil for the skin, and it is used by many, including myself, in certain salve and balm preparations. You might as well use the oil straight, but it also really, really works well together with oil of other extracts of plants that grow around here. So you can also use calendula as a fresh compress, or what we call a poultice. And it is one of the herbs which, if you have nothing else and you're out in the field, and going back to poison oak, you are pretty sure you just got exposed to the oils in poison oak, you can create a poultice out of plantain, jewelweed, or calendula, whatever grows in the area, and apply that to that particular place. And it will help. It may not make it like it never happened, but it will reduce the inflammation, help the body to expel the oil of the poison oak. There is, in regard to poison oak, there is another remedy I personally use, and it has helped me tremendously. It is the flower essence of poison oak. But coming back to calendula. Calendula was used before Christ was born as an ointment, as a tincture, as a decoration with this uplifting aspect to it. And the way I look at it, everything has a vibration and a frequency. Certain flowers have a vibration and a frequency that is uplifting. And why don't we allow ourselves to bring more of this uplifting quality in our lives? You may just put them in a vase, you may put them in the food, you may use them as tea, you may use them as tinctures or oils, whatever works for you. Create a relationship with your plant allies. They are here, they are available, they are willing to support us to find balance in our lives, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Again, the digestive aspect is major of calendula. And I think I'm not saying, I think it's okay to say that lately, a lot of things that has happened globally are really hard to digest. So why don't we go outside, open our eyes, and look for all the help that is out there waiting for us, out there waiting to help us. Okay, so we're almost out of time. That's about calendula. There you go. Calendula, have another look. And please just make a pact with yourself that you're going to go out somewhere and find some herb or flower and just talk to it and listen what it has to share with you and see if that will make a positive impact in your life.